Welcome, this is Stud Muffin 1986, and I'm going to be doing a review on the Type 62 Dragon. Brand new tank that just came out today, so hope you enjoy this review. I'm going to be going over just some things. First thing I notice is the amazing amount of penetration from standard to heat shell. 312, really good. Definitely going to want to pack some of those. And some good discounts on the equipment when it first came out, so just taking a look at the tank here. It's a bit different than these type of tanks like the Type 59 or the T54 where they have really strong turrets. This turret's practically paper, so you want to be really careful when peeking out around those corners and getting those shots, that you're not relying on your turret too much for protection in this thing. Other than that, great rate of fire, really good speed, so let's give it a shot and just see how it does in battle. Now, the one thing that I also like about this tank, that's slightly different obviously than the Type 59, is the fact it's a tier 7. So obviously fighting against lower tier tanks, which is really nice. And also the fact with your heat rounds having over 300 millimeters of penetration, awesome thing about that is you really won't have that hard of a time penetrating just about anything you come across, which is really nice. So here we go, getting my team to try to come with me just for some support into the town as I head in, take an effective position. Going to be a little bit more cautious, just once I get to that point, for the fact, once again, this thing has just a paper turret just all around, so I can't really rely on that too much. So probably going to be doing a lot more shifting back and forth anytime I see a cannon pointed at me, a lot of moving back, getting cover, just slightly popping out, maybe taking that shot, or even just shifting back and forth quite a bit, waiting for them to take the shot, hopefully miss, and then me move forward and be able to get that shot off them. Probably the most effective way to go about it with this tank. If anybody's played with the Leopard, you'll know exactly what I mean when facing the difficulty of having practically a paper tank while going into battle, and just how much more cautious you need to be. It looks like we came across our first target. Pretty good accuracy, better aim time than the Type 59, which is nice. One of the things that most people understand when playing practically with a paper tank is making sure to always keep your distance. In one of my other videos I talk about the 2 degrees kind of a separation. Distance is really going to be your ally with this tank. Putting yourself in a brawl situation, getting too close, is really going to just get you torn apart in this thing. Keeping your distance, like how I am going, here, staying on the outskirts, taking the shot, pulling back. Another thing that can make this tank a bit difficult, unlike other paper tanks like the Leopard or M46 pattern, where you've got really good gun depression, you could use to your advantage. This tank, just like the Type 59, only has a -5 degree gun depression, which really isn't that great, especially mixed with the fact you don't really have a very strong turret. It makes it a bit more challenging to use this tank. Now, one thing I already have done is, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've already made a guide on how to play with medium tanks. I would go through, just after this, watch that as well, because there's a lot of good pointers that I think go over some rules, some tips on not only how to play with medium tanks in general, but also some good ways on how to specifically play with this tank that will really help you also become a better player as well. Now, one thing I would also say about this tank is, unlike the IS-6 or some other tanks that just about anybody could do good in, just because roundabout, just great armor, good maneuverability, good cannon, all that good stuff, this tank is a bit more challenging to play with. I'd probably, get this tank if you are more of an experienced player, because I could see for those that are maybe average or below average, you're going to have a much harder time playing with a tank like this. So if the style of fighting that you really prefer is with heavy tanks, or even with medium tanks with strong armor like the T62A, Type 59, I definitely would not recommend this tank. You're not really relying on the armor at all. If you end up doing so, you're just going to get ripped to shreds. So for me personally, I really like this tank. I prefer maneuverability over armor. But that's just my preference. You have to really know your preference or style of fighting to know whether, just from either watching this video or other reviews, if this seems to be a tank that would be a good fit for you. Now, another thing that's pretty obvious about this tank that I think is pretty cool is the paint job. I love the fact it's got the dragon that just goes along the side of it. Really cool in my opinion. Oh, another thing about this tank that's just really awesome, it just has really good traverse, turret rotating speed. I mean, you can just really see the maneuverability with this thing, and just how much it can really pick up speed. Like right there, just was able to take a shot, zoom forward really quick, get that guy to miss his shot, have me zoom back, shift back and forth, once again, miss his shot, take another shot at him, got hit there, but really love the maneuverability with this thing, and if you use that to your advantage, you're going to be a really good player with this thing. So, good game, good effort by the enemy. Hope you really like this review. Once again, this is Stud Muffin 1986, and thank you for watching.